Hello everyone, this is ICBs here and today we're talking about Avengers Doomsday and quite possibly everything you need to know about this movie. Now we've all seen the teaser for Avengers Doomsday, so we're not going to be watching that in this video. Instead, we will look at the cast over here because you can see the image of the actor and you can see the name and you can also see what role they will be playing, which is a lot more helpful rather than seeing the name of the actor written on a chair. So this is much more helpful. So I'm just gonna zoom in. So yeah, so we're just going to go through the cast, which is kind of important, so let's just do that. You can see like all the major actors that are going to be playing: Anthony Mackie, of course, Robert Downey Jr., Pedro Pascal, Chris Hemsworth, and all of these main cast. It doesn't say main cast over here, but it's kind of a bit funny, I find, because if you scroll down here it says other cast and it says that, and now it's like the other actors that are also going to be playing. I don't know why it says other cast. You could just have a continuation of the actors, but like maybe they're freaking pheasants, like lower tier actors or something. I don't know, like they're really good actors, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, over here you can also see that James Marsden is also coming back to play Scott Summers Cyclops. So it's also going to be bringing back legacy X-Men characters from the 2000s X-Men series. So that's really interesting. You can see that Patrick Stewart is going to be coming back as Charles Xavier. You will have Ian McKellen as well, Shang-Chi. You have all sorts of actors, which is definitely interesting to see, but we're going to also focus on another list. Specifically, this list by Discussing Film on Twitter, and this list is all about the actors that are actually not reprising their specific roles. And actually, I'm just surprised to see it says Mark Ruffalo. So you're not going to be seeing Hulk in Avengers Doomsday, which is very interesting. You're not going to be seeing Chris Evans. There are some rumors that Chris Evans will show up, but they are rumors. Like there hasn't been any official news of Chris Evans coming back. So yeah, like some of these characters are really mainstream, high tier Avengers level characters. For instance, Hulk is not going to be in this movie. You won't see Daredevil. You're not going to be seeing Wong. You're not going to see Miss Marvel. You're not even going to be seeing Spider-Man, which kind of makes sense because no one really knows who Spider-Man is. Like not in the real world, but in the Marvel's universe, everyone kind of just forgot who Spider-Man is. And Moon Knight is not going to be, and Valkyrie, the Wasp is not going to be in this movie. You won't have White Vision. What? This is very surprising to me because I actually made a video a couple of videos ago that Tatiana Maslany was going to be in this movie as She-Hulk, but this list is saying that she's not going to be in this movie, and I don't remember seeing her name in the the teaser for the movie. So I don't know, like that video probably aged poorly, I suppose. You have War Machine that's also not going to be in this movie. You have, most importantly, Captain Marvel that's also not going to be showing up in this movie. I could probably make another video on Captain Marvel. In fact, like I feel like that I'm really, Captain Marvel's character is really close to my heart and I have so many things to talk about it. And I have already talked about her character in like literally the second video on my channel, but that video is really old, so I could just make another video, maybe add a couple of new points, so I could just talk about Captain Marvel in a different separate video. Taskmaster is also not going to be showing up. Ironheart is not going to be showing up. We will talk about Ironheart as well later on in this video. Nick Fury is not showing up. Kate Bishop, Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is not showing up, which is interesting because she's also been seen to travel through the multiverse, so that's really interesting. But what the hell, Dakota Johnson as Madam Web? That is funny. I don't know if I should trust this list anymore. This is just trolling at its finest. Uh, America Chavez is not showing up. Monica Rambeau and Doctor Strange, he's not showing up. I remember, like, I do think that he was going to be showing up. I remember seeing that teaser. Like, let me just check the list again. So I actually did went over this whole list again, but I couldn't find Benedict Cumberbatch. So maybe Doctor Strange is also not going to be in Avengers Doomsday, but I don't know, some part of my brain kind of remembers seeing his name in the teaser video for Avengers Doomsday. So this is again surprising because this list is kind of proving to be right, because at some point I thought this was not right because it mentioned Madame Web as, like she's not a Marvel character, she's from Sony or Fox, but it also mentioned Doctor Strange, which is again strange because I did think that he was going to be in this movie. But now that we've discussed this thing, there is something else that I want to discuss, and it's something a bit serious. So let's talk about that. I want to talk about the movies that are leading up to Avengers Doomsday. So we're just going to very quickly go over the movies and shows that are going to be in between Captain America Brave World and Doctor Doom. So let's go through that. So it says Daredevil Born Again. We've already seen that. It's been released. So again, we have the Thunderbolts. It's going to be coming out very soon. So you have the Thunderbolts movie, right? What else do we have? We have Ironheart, which is a series. So alright, we have Ironheart. Moving on. By the way, I'm also planning on making a video about Ironheart, but maybe I should postpone it or something until the series comes out, because I kind of want to talk about the legacy of Iron Man, and how she's supposed to be the one who is inheriting Iron Man's name and legacy. So yeah, a lot of things can be talked about it, but now that she's getting a series that's going to be coming out in June of 2025, I guess I'll just talk about it when this show comes out. Okay, so we also have Fantastic Four that's going to be coming out as well. And then we have Eyes of Wakanda, which is an animated series. You can ignore that. You have Marvel Zombies, which is also an animated series. You can also ignore that. Now, Wonder Man over here is something very interesting because actually I know about this thing existing, but I don't think a lot of people, I don't think like 99% of the people out there know about this thing existing, because I actually tried to Google this thing on YouTube and I didn't see any trailer for this series by Marvel. Like, Marvel is officially not promoting it, but I did see some trailers that seemed very legitimate on YouTube channels that were not officially owned by Marvel or Disney. So it is very weird that this series is coming out, but I don't think that this is going to be playing a major role in the continuation or contribution to Avengers Doomsday. So you can also ignore this thing. And then after all of that, you have Avengers Doomsday. Seems like a lot of content, right? Before Avengers Doomsday is released. Well, no, that's my concern. There isn't a lot of content between Avengers Doomsday and right now. So let's talk about it. And this is the list of all of the upcoming Marvel movies. And we are over here because today we're talking about Avengers Doomsday. And Captain America Brave New World has already been released. Now, all the movies in between these two are only two. You have Thunderbolts and you have Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, I didn't really pay too much attention to the Thunderbolts. I watched the trailer and I thought it just looked like a really bad movie like Suicide Squad, and I just didn't really give this movie so much importance. I didn't think it was that important, but it is one of the two movies in between Captain America Brave New World and Avengers Doomsday. So I'm just sitting here wondering, like, is Thunderbolts actually that important? Like, is it actually going to have something major that contributes to the plot of Avengers Doomsday? It is baffling when you think about it. What I want to talk about is that Marvel was actually in phase 4 building a lot more towards Kang, but Marvel fired Jonathan Majors as Kang. So in between, after Marvel firing Jonathan Majors, we kind of pretended that, Kang didn't existed. So Marvel released a lot of content, movies and shows where we just pretended that Kang didn't existed, and a lot of these shows that came out just didn't really move towards something bigger. Like all of the movies that released in phase 1 and 2, we kind of knew that it was building up towards Marvel's phase 3 where we would see Thanos. But after Marvel fired Kang the Conqueror, not Kang the Conqueror, Marvel fired Jonathan Majors, we just didn't really knew where Marvel was going, and maybe even Marvel didn't knew where it was going. But Marvel hired Russo brothers, and now we have Avengers Doomsday, and well, their plan is to make Avengers Doomsday, which is equivalent to Avengers Infinity War, and they only have two movies in between Captain America Brave New World and Doomsday. That is very concerning to me because I don't want Marvel to be prematurely, bombing with this movie. Because when you look at it, Avengers Infinity War, which is like my favorite movie ever, didn't happen in thin air. Like there was a decade long movies that built up to Avengers Infinity War. And you have these two movies that are going to be contributing to Avengers Doomsday. And now you might be saying that no, like Avengers Doomsday is, maybe a continuation of Marvel Phase 4, and Marvel is going to try and connect all of Phase 4 and 5 and all of these phases into Avengers Doomsday. And to that, I say straw man in my head is a very difficult task because, again, everything in phase 4 and 5 was moving up towards Kang. And now suddenly you have this big shift in plans and you have to go more towards Doomsday. It's going to be really difficult to manage these things. At the end of the day, I am very cautiously optimistic about this whole movie. So, like, I don't want to be a negative Nancy sitting here and talking about Avengers Doomsday when everyone else is literally on this planet really excited for Avengers Doomsday. I'm just going to be sitting here cautiously optimistic because I do like Russo brothers and I do think that they have the ability to save Marvel. But I'm still cautious because I want to see how they are dealing with this thing. So the Thunderbolts is going to be coming out relatively soon. So I do think that Thunderbolts might actually contribute to the plot of Avengers Doomsday, and it also has Century in it. So it's definitely going to be a movie that's dealing with more cosmic level beings. So again, looking forward to that. What I actually forgot to talk about in my entire video was the Fantastic Four's first step as well. Again, it's a bit really confusing mess because you have Fantastic Four, and if you watch the teaser for Fantastic Four, and if you haven't watched it, you can just watch my video where I reacted to the whole trailer. And in that teaser, you have, Fantastic Four, and Marvel teases that it is going to be Galactus that's going to be the big bad guy in the Fantastic Four. So you have again Doctor Doom, which we also know or is the big bad guy for Fantastic Four. So you have this big mess of so many overlapping plots and so many things to cover, which again is a very stressful thing for the Russo brothers because this is all they have to deal with. I can't imagine it's easy, but again, I am looking forward to this whole thing being, all of this mess be tied up and put a bow on top of it with Avengers Doomsday. So I'm going to be looking forward to how Russo brothers and in turn Marvel deals with this. So yeah, that was a lot of, mumbo jumbo and rant from me, but now I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Do you have any of your own theories? What do you guys think is going to happen in Avengers Doomsday? Or you can tell me what's going to be happening in Thunderbolts because that's like the first movie that's going to be happening. And, I'm not too familiar with the character of Century. I've watched some of his origin stories. So you can tell me about his character or what you think is going to be happening in these movies. So you can tell me your theories. And, well, with that said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, it's time for a goodbye.